Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand Chart Show, where we count down the top 10 Manchester United players of the week. I will be king, I will be king, and you, yeah, you will be queen. We could be heroes just for one day. Well, let's get on to it anyway. Last week's number one was Matic. Will he hold on to that top spot this week? But we have got a new entry. We've got a few new entries this week. In fact, we've got one new entry this week. It's David De Gea. It's the guy on the left. Rising up, back on my feet. Took my chance, took my chances. Yes, it's David De Gea. He's in at number 10. Well, he's in number 10 because actually Victor Lindelof dropped out. He was at number 10, I think, last week. We had Victor Lindelof in at number 10 last week. He was a new entry. And I just feel that David De Gea, those two fantastic saves that he made against Brighton, the stick that he's taken, look, he's not going to invent, you know, a cure for coronavirus or anything like that. We're not saying that. But what he is he's in at number 10. He's in at number 10 this week, and I think he justifies number 10. There's a long way to go, David. But you're back on your feet, you took your chance, and you're in at number 10 for Manchester United this week. Number 9, I have scared these pretty walls, only to be with you. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Marcus Rashford, number 9, drops 2 spots. We love Rashford. He should be Sir Marcus of Rashford for the work that he's done in lockdown. Brilliant, absolutely amazing. But on the pitch, we still haven't found what we're looking for with Marcus Rashford. I think he's rusty. And as somebody who suffers with lower back pain, he probably is still, you know, getting over that. Or is he? I don't know. I mean, look, I think the excuse is what I'm trying to say is there with Rashford. The effort's there. The quality is there. But the smoothness is not there. And I think that, as I've said before, Wayne Rooney used to be a little bit like this as well. He comes back from an injury and he doesn't quite hit his levels straight away. But look, I think Marcus Rashford will hit the levels, and I think he will be back very, very soon. But he is a dropper this week. He drops from number 7 to number 9. And I expect Marcus Rashford, as a little prediction, this is a song that's going to go back up the charts. Manchester United's Marcus Rashford. Right, number 8 this week. Are we moving a little bit quick this week? I don't know. But number 8 this week, he has moved one spot. He was last week's number 9. He's up to number 8, and his name is Harry Maguire. The late winner against Norwich. Remember, we're taking in the games from Norwich and Brighton as part of this top 10. And we don't generally do it on the whole week. You know, your previous week's performance helps whether you go up or down as well. But it is basically what you've done over the last week that gives you most points. So Harry Maguire does move up. Again, you know, flawless performance really against Brighton. Late winner against Norwich, showing that leadership when it is required. So for me, Harry Maguire definitely in at number 8 and worthy of that position as our captain. Number 7. When you try so hard but you don't succeed, stuck in rivers. Anthony Marcial, the biggest dropper of the week. Last week, Anthony Marcial was in at number 3. This week, no, he wasn't. I've tell a lie. He was in at number 2. He's a big dropper. He's dropped from number 2 to number 7 this week, Anthony Marcial. And I don't think it's, look, a little bit like Marcial. Not a little bit like Rashford, sorry, but not to the extent. I think Marcial hasn't had a bad week. It's not a hate Marcial thing. I've seen idiots this week saying he's crap, we need a number 9, this, that and the other, because they don't appreciate the role. But number 2 last week, because he got a hat-trick and he was playing well, drops to number 7 this week. Not because he's played badly. I think Marcial's done well in both of those games. I think he's played the number 9 role against Brighton. He didn't really play against Norwich that much. But in both games, I thought he was a steady 7 out of 10. But against Brighton, did he even have a shot on goal? He's doing, through no fault of his own really, he's doing all the graft and everyone else is benefiting from it this week. But nothing really for him to shine. And realistically, the only reason he's a big dropper is not because he's performed badly, but because there are 6 players who perform better than him this week. And that is a good problem to have if you're Manchester United, because you've got all those players who are doing so well at the moment. So Marcial is a big dropper this week, but again, I think with the games that we've got coming up between the next chart show, which is Bournemouth at home and Villa at home. I wouldn't be surprised to see Anthony Marcial moving up. In fact, I might wear the Marcial t-shirt later. You'll have to wait and see. But I've got a funny feeling Marcial will be back in the goal-scoring chart soon. Everybody's favourite in at number 6, Luke Shaw. He's a non-mover. He was a number 6 last week, not quite in the number 5. He has been number 1. He was number 1 for 2 weeks before the lockdown. I tell a lot. Yes, he was number 1 for 2 weeks before lockdown. Came back and dropped down to number 6. He holds on to number 6, Luke Shaw. Involved in one of the goals against Norwich. Defensively, very, very sound and very, very steady. In fact, look, very, very good at the moment. I'm not getting into the whole Luke Shaw's this, Luke Shaw's that. I think he's one of the best left-backs in Europe at the moment. Yes, I said Europe. Yes, I said Europe. Yes, I said Europe. Definitely one of the best left-backs in the league as of the moment, and certainly since January. And he's putting in very good performances for Manchester United. So for me, Luke Shaw is my number 6 this week, and that's all I've got to say. Number 5, woo, 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 elevation, woo, 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 elevation. Mason Greenwood, the highest climber of the week. He's in at number 3. He's not in at number 3. He's climbed 3 places from number 8 to number 5. And some might say that's not high enough, and some might say, what's he really done? But the point is, that goal to open up the scoring against Brighton in midweek was something out of nothing, brilliant. The double step over. But also, I tried to make it clear just how brilliant that was. The fact that it wasn't just a double step over and a shot, it was a double step over, and something he's done so many times now. He's actually so accurate with his shooting. He shoots through the legs of defenders and puts it in the bottom corner, which totally does the goalkeeper. Because as a goalkeeper, when you're covering your angles, a lot of the time you use the player and you assume that player will block that angle, so you're covering the rest of the goal. It's a very, very clever thing to do, and it's a genius thing for somebody to do who's only 18 years of age. So I think in Mason Greenwood we've got a genius, and it's about how much of that genius he can turn into world-class ability. Look, he's coming in and out of games. That's going to happen. He's a young player, but definitely deserves to be in at number 5 this week. And look, will he play against Bournemouth? I don't know. Maybe he'll get rested. But every time we've used him so far since the lockdown, and before that, to be fair, you can count on this player. And he's got important goals. That early goal against Brighton made that game a lot easier. So big shout out to Mason Greenwood. He definitely deserves that position. Number 4 this week. I'm getting a bit confused here. I know what it is. Dance when you wanna dance, please brother take a chance. You know you're not a goal, which way you wanna go. In fact, this is Oasis, I've got to do this properly. Dance when you wanna dance, please brother take a chance. You know you gotta go, which way you wanna go. We know is that we don't know how it's gonna be. Please brother let it be. Life on the other hand will understand. We're all part of a master plan. We got there in the end. Dance when you want to dance. Paul Pogba's part of the master plan for Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes. He's number 4 this week. He's gone up from number 5 last week. And I just think Paul Pogba at the moment is doing something that we want him to do. When we want the good performances, and that's what we're getting, but we're getting consistent good performances. I still don't think we've had the elite put me at number 1 in the chart show Paul Pogba performance yet, which is why he's not at number 1. But I do think that we are getting very good performances from Paul Pogba. And we've had it for like 3.5 games in a row now. Spurs, Sheffield United, Norwich when he came on, and Brighton as well. So we're getting that consistency from Pogba. And I know with Pogba that he's so good that we will get the world-class performances that will push him up the charts. But at the moment, I think being nestled in the top 5 week in, week out is a good start for Paul Pogba because it shows consistency, which is what we are definitely looking for. And obviously, a little bit of a spoiler, number 3 is going to be Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has moved up 1 spot as well. 2 goals in midweek. Quality player. I think against Spurs and I think against Norwich, he was a little bit off. And maybe even Sheffield United a little bit off by his high standards, but against Brighton he was absolutely superb, man of the match for me, and really is, you know, some might say Some might say that he should be higher. Don't do that on the chart show. It's got to be... Come on, pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Bruno Fernandes, anyway, maybe he should be higher in the chart show. But he isn't, because I don't think he deserves to go higher than that. And again, we're looking for consistency with him and Pogba and brilliance. And at the moment, I would put them 3 and 4. But it just shows you the quality that we actually have in our top 5 at the moment with Manchester United, and what a surprise. Why would it be a surprise? Because we're playing well at the moment. So Bruno Fernandes up to number 3, another player that I think could be going up over the next few games. But number 2 for me is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, Wan-Bissaka, we've been doing this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. We've been doing the chart show before lockdown and after, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka's never been out of the top 5. I mean, that to me just epitomises Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Consistency. He needs his own song about consistency. Titanium, shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. That's his song anyway. I remembered it. But yeah, he is. But he's also getting things going forward, and that to me is why Aaron Wan-Bissaka should never be forgotten. He's going to be our Player of the Year, and I think that also he's. I'm lost for words. Why Wan-Bissaka again? I just think that he's improving going forward as well. I am lost for words for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because I do think he's that good, and I think he's totally deserving of the number 2 spot. And I think, glamour might lead you to give it to Bruno for the goals or Pogba for the consistency, but this is Mr. Consistent, who is also getting forward. And I think I think if Trent Alexander-Arnold wasn't about this season, he's the best right back in the world. I think he is absolutely brilliant, and I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. I don't think he necessarily gets the credit he deserves from every United fan. I think we sort of forget him a little bit because he's so consistent, but it's his first season at the club, and he's been brilliant from day one. And I definitely don't think he gets the appreciation from outside of Manchester United by the mainstream media at all. He's absolutely brilliant. So he is number 2 for me. And then obviously this week's number 1, if I can find it. What the bloody hell's going on? Don't bloody freeze on the chart show. What are you doing? It's bloody frozen on the chart show. I can't believe it. The bloody thing's it's bloody frozen on the chart show. We can't do the chart show. We can do the chart show. The number 1 is Nemanja Matic. History repeats itself. Try and you'll succeed. Never doubt that you're the one, and you can have your dreams. You're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. You're the best around. Ricky wants to come and have a barbecue with you. Yes, he's number 1. He's number 1, Nemanja Matic. He was man of the match against Brighton with Bruno. He's ridiculously consistent. He was number 1 from that last week. There is no dislodging this Serbian monster of a midfielder, Nemanja Matic. He's been reborn. There's so many songs you could think about for Matic, but I went with classic Karate Kid. You're the best around at the moment in a Manchester United shirt. I mean, he should be Player of the Month. The Premier League have got Player of the Month Man United players as Marcial and Bruno. It's Nemanja Matic. This is what I mean about mainstream media. Jordan Henderson, Player of the Year, when he's not even the 3rd best player at Liverpool when they've won the title. But let's give it to him because it's glamorous. Like, Nemanja Matic is the best player at Manchester United at the moment. That's why he's top of our chart show for the 2nd week in a row. He's absolutely phenomenal. And the part he had to play in Bruno's 2nd goal against Brighton was amazing. But he's also, that's not his job. His job is to run the midfield, and he's doing that and more. I've never seen him in a United shirt looking so happy. And Mourinho loved him. Solskjaer probably came in and went, who is he? Is he just a Serbian Poundland Carrick? And actually, he's turned him into prime Matic of what he was like in the Chelsea days. So this will hurt Mourinho, the fact that I'm about to say this and he'll never even hear it, but Solskjaer's got Matic playing better than he's ever played at Man United, and Mourinho loved Matic, and he couldn't get him playing this well. So fair play to Solskjaer, fair play to Nemanja Matic. He is the number 1 again this week, and I think you will all agree and smash a like on the video because you know it's true. Everything I do, I'll do it for you. But no, Matic is number 1 this week. There you go. We got through that one, didn't we? We did get through that one. There was a few moments of silence. I think I was just in awe of how well Manchester United are playing at the moment and how well these players are doing. So there you go. The chart show is up and running again for another week. And of course, we'll be back later with the watch along for the Bournemouth game. Who's going to perform well this week? But also a massive new thing being launched on the watch along today in the match reaction. Something you can get involved in for the very first time. Player ratings will be voted for by you, and those player ratings will play a big part in next week's chart show. It's going to be totally voted for by you. Tune in for the watch along later and the match reaction to see how you can get involved in that. Thanks everyone for watching. Well done to Nemanja Matic. Second week at number 1. The only person out of the 7 shows we've done who's beaten that was Fred. He was number 1 for the first 3 weeks of the season. First three chart shows, Fred was number 1. Then Luke Shaw was number 1 for 2 weeks. And now we've had Matic for 2 weeks. So we've had 7 shows and 3 people at number 1. Fred was number 1 for 3 weeks. Now we can't even get a game. Interesting times ahead. Well done to the lads. I would say this was a very good week and a very hard week to predict, and we wanted to keep it like that with good performances on the pitch. Speak to you all soon. Subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching. Cut it.